So I'm going to walk you through the first two problems and then the last problem. And then hopefully you can do problem 3 and 4 on your own. But if you can't, you can always come ask for help. But hopefully this will help get you started. All right. So this one says to find the volume of a three-dimensional figure. Now, if you remember all the way back to last Thursday, we talked about triangular prisms, which is exactly what this is. Remember, on your tests, it's always going to tell you what kind of shape it is. So I've got a triangular prism, and prisms have a volume formula of what? Prisms have a volume formula of area of the base times height. Well, let's take a look at our base. What kind of shape is our base? It's a triangle. What is the area formula for a triangle? Area equals length times width divided by 2. So instead of having big B, what can I put in place of big B? Volume equals length times width divided by 2. Then I just have to make sure that I go back and attach my height. So I would have times height in there as well. Okay, so that means what I have to do is I just take my three numbers and I multiply them and then I divide them by 2. So I would have volume equals 6 times 10 divided by 2. And what does that give you? 180. Okay, this one says a pyramid with its dimensions is shown. Find the volume of the pyramid in cubic feet. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my volume formula for a pyramid. Look over at the board. What does it say the volume formula for a pyramid is? Area of the base times height divided by 3. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the base. What kind of shape is that? That is a triangle. So my base is a triangle. So what is the area formula for a triangle? Length times width divided by 2. So instead of big B, I'm going to put all of this in there right there. So I'm going to have length. I'm going to actually change colors so that makes it a little bit more clear. Length times width divided by 2. We still have the height. So I'm also going to go through and attach on my height. So times height. And then I also still have the divide by 3. So I'm going to put the whole thing divided by 3. And that looks really gross. I know. But that's how we break down this problem, okay? It's really not that bad. We're going to do length times width times height first. Then we'll just divide that by 2. And then we'll just divide that by 3. Okay, so we're going to start with length times width times height. If I look, I've got 12, 12, and 7. So I've got 12 times 7. Then after that, I would divide that by 2. So that's knocked out, that's knocked out, that's knocked out. And then after that, I would divide that by 3. So I have 12 times 7 divided by 2, and then I divide it by 3. That's going to give me 168 feet cubed. So remember, you just multiply your three numbers and then divide them by 2 because you have a triangle. And then divide them by 3 because you have a pyramid. It looks really gross, but you just multiply your three numbers, then divide them by 2, then divide them by 3. We divide them by 2 because we have a triangle, and then we divide them by 3 because we have a pyramid. Okay, so that's going to be how you do problem number 3, and problem number 4 is just how we did problem number 2. So if you want to pause the video and then come back to this for question number 6, you can totally do that. Okay, so if we take a look at this one, it says the question has 2 parts. Find the area of the shaded region. So that's the big thing that they want us to do. Now, this part right here is them walking you through how to do this. So it says you can either find the area of each shape and add them. So would we add these two together? No, we would not add those two together. Adding them would be if they were stacked on top of each other. So it'd be like if you had something that looked like this. We don't have something that looks like that. We've got a circle with a rectangle cut out. Okay, then the next one says subtract the area of the rectangle from the area of the circle. So if I found the area of the rectangle, could I then cut it out from the area of the circle to find it? Possibly. Then the last one says subtract the area of the circle from the area of the rectangle. Okay, the difference between B and C is it's just which one is bigger. So we always subtract the one that is smaller from the one that's bigger. So since my rectangle is smaller, I'm going to subtract it from the circle because it's bigger. So that's going to be B. Then this one says the best selection is what number? So what that is looking for from us is for us to answer the actual question. What is the area of the shaded region? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, okay, first I'm going to find the area of the rectangle. Why? Because that's easier. So rectangles have an area formula of what? Base times height. Well, let's take a look at our rectangle. Here is our rectangle. If you look, that 10 is going beyond the rectangle. That 10 is not meant for the rectangle. Instead, you have a base and a height of what? 6 times 8. And that's going to give us what? 48. Then we have a circle. The area formula for a circle is what? It's over there on the board. Area equals pi times radius squared. We know that I hate radius squared. We don't know what that means. So what does radius squared mean? Radius squared means pi times radius times radius. It tells us to use pi equals 3.14. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that. And then I have times radius times radius. Okay, let's take a look at our shape. The 10 is meant for the circle. That's why it goes all the way across. Now, is that 10 a diameter or a radius? The 10 is a diameter. Remember, if it goes all the way across, it's a diameter. Diameter is a longer word, so it's the longer one. I don't want a diameter, though. I want a radius. I have a diameter equal to 10. My radius is what? Well, how do I go from a diameter to a radius? What do? I divide by 2. So my radius equals 10 divided by 2. So what's my radius? 5. So radius equals 5. So now, instead of those r's, what can I go through and put? I can say area equals 3.14 times 5, which is going to give me 78.5. Now, way over here, we said, hey, how do I find the area of this thing once I find the area of the circle and the rectangle? We subtract them. It's cut out. We subtract for cutouts. So I would do 78.5 minus 48. Remember, the bigger number minus the smaller number. You can't have negative area. That's going to give me 30.5. Okay. If you didn't go back and do question number 3 and question number 4, go back and do it now. Remember, it's based off of question number 2. So if you can do question number 2, you can do question 3 and 4. If you need help, come ask.